Hey, it's Marshall Tingle with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside report for this past week, the week of August 7th through the 13th. So, man, this weather sure does feel good. Your temperatures have eased up a little bit and it's drastically cooler and starts to feel like fall. But I tell you what's not cooling down, this cattle market. Man, this cattle market right now, it continues to climb and it is just about too hot to touch. So we've had some really big runs come through the barns this past week. Saw a lot of loads come through. Not too many of your calf deals, but your farmer feeder, your calf crops are starting to come to town. Let's talk about these numbers. So we sold 18,978 head of cattle for the week. That's going to be up 4,000, right under 4,000, but right at 4,000 head more than what it was this time last week, and 2,000 more than it was a year ago. So that's a really strong sign as we go in. You might start to see your fall run start just a little bit earlier because most of everybody is cleaned out of their yearlings and their summer grass cattle. They've just about brought them all to town and cashed in on this really good market. So it's about fall run for your calf time coming up. Now let's talk about what this cattle market's doing. This cattle market continues to climb. Both feeder steers and heifers this week, we called them $2 to $5 higher, and they put another $4 on your yearlings. Called yearling cattle steady to $4 higher, and I'd say for the biggest part, it's going to be more on the $4 higher than it was the steady side. But let's break this down real fast. So your feeder cattle, your full weight feeder steers this week, you're looking at $1.65 to $2. They topped off at $2.23 on a full weight steer. That's pretty rocking as here we are in August. You know, that's pretty not typical for what we normally see, but there was still a lot of cattle, those 4-weight steer cattle, in that $2.10 mark, and that's pretty consistent on your top end side all the way across the board on those. Now let's talk about your 5-weights. You're looking at $1.60 to $2.05. I'd say a lot of them could be caught right there in that $1.90, $1.95 mark, so that's a really good sign there on your 5-weight steer cattle. But let's talk about these yearlings. We saw some outstanding yearling loads this past week, some numbers that were pretty astronomical and just strong and solid as the day is long. So let's look at these highlights real fast. So let's start off here with a set of mid 7-weight cattle. I thought this ticket was a really strong sell on these. Here's 62 head of these, all black-hided steers, 752 pounds on the average, $1.90.30. That's a really good sign on these 7-weight cattle. You know, it wasn't too long ago we were begging for $1.50 on them, and it wasn't there. So this is a really good strong sign on these 750s. Now let's talk about your 8-weight cattle. This 8-weight cattle deal is rocking. Now this is the highlights. Not all of them traded this high, but the market as a whole is up. Let's check out these highlights on your 8-weights. Here's 125 head of these black and Charolais cross steers, 813 pounds on the average, $1.80 smooth. Really strong. Now here's another of your mid 8s. Here's 60 head of these black-hided steers, 859 pounds on the average. You're looking at $178.75, so still a strong trade there. But check out this set of big heavy 8s. Now here's 120 head of these all black steers, 883 pounds on the average. Ready for this? $1.80 smooth. Man, that's a solid trade right there. But you know, these heifers have really been rocking here lately, as of the last month and a half, and they haven't let down yet. Let's talk about these. So here's some 550 weight heifers. Here's 90 head of these. These are all black heifers, 550 pounds on the average, $1.85.50. But you ready for this? Here's a solid trade here. Here's 76 head of these. These are all black heifers as well, 650 pounds on the average, so a solid 100 pounds heavier, $1.89.80. That is a rocking heifer price there on a 650 weight heifer. Now, let's talk about your CME feeder cattle index. So your CME feeder cattle index for the week has climbed for the week. We start off Monday the 8th. You're looking at 176.40. By the time Tuesday came around, Tuesday the 9th, 176.53. By Wednesday the 10th, 178.06. And then we really saw a big climb here on Thursday. Thursday and Friday were really strong. Thursday the 11th, 178.28, and we closed out the week Friday the 12th at 179.04. So that's a really strong number. But if you compare that to our Kentucky prices here, if we started out the week at 176.40 and we were selling heavy 8s at $1.80, I think we got them licked. Even on the end of the week with your CME at 179.04, and we're still trading for $1.80. That's a really good sign on these Kentucky cattle, because it's still a long way from Kentucky to where the feed's at, and the loaded mile is not cheap on this trucking, so that's a pretty strong sign. But let's talk about your heifer cattle. You know, the last month and a half, we've really seen this heifer deal be really strong on these 550 and 650 weight cattle. Let's compare that to your CME feeder cattle index. So we sold some 550 heifers for $1.85. We sold some 650 heifers for $1.89. Let's check out your heifer CME. So Friday at the highest point of the week, your CME feeder cattle index on the set of heifer cattle, $1.6110. We've got that beat by $28. That is a rocking sign on a set of Kentucky cattle. Now, if you have any questions about any any cattle that you have under an existing LRP policy, a livestock risk protection policy, or if you're interested in putting an LRP policy in on a set of new calves that you're going to be turning out for this fall, feel free to reach out to us. It's Superior Ag Insurance. Call Ian Thomas at 859-613-2453 or check us out on the web, www.superioragins.com. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.